Hi there. This is Mark Ian-Petro asking that if you are enjoying our Exploring Bethlehem series, that you please hit the like and the subscribe buttons. This helps us reach a wider audience, and I greatly appreciate it. Thanks and keep watching. You know, Bethlehem has been around for more than 280 years, and in its long, colorful history, the city has been known for a lot of things. It was known as a Moravian settlement for its first 100 years or so, and then eventually it became the seat of the Industrial Revolution, which continued right through the 20th century up to the 21st century. But did you know that for a brief time, during the later stages of the 19th century, Bethlehem, and in particular Fountain Hill, was known as a Victorian resort? Today we visit the location of a largely forgotten old resort from the Victorian era, Lechauweki Springs. The name Lechauweki is the Lenape Indian word for the Lehigh River. The springs are located on a hillside in Fountain Hill. A man by the name of Francis Appelt utilized springs nearby to create a hospital. He had no medical training, but he believed that drinking and bathing in pure water could cure all ailments. His facility was known as Appelt's Water Cure and the Hydropathic Institute. St. Luke's Hospital opened up on Appelt's land in 1872. Edwin Drake, the driller of the first successful commercial oil well in Titusville, lived out his remaining years in the Fountain Hill, Bethlehem area. He moved to the area after word of his poor health spread, and a great outcry and charitable outreach ensued. The Pennsylvania General Assembly gave him a $1,500 pension. Drake's move to Bethlehem was likely for the supposed healing powers of the mineral springs in Fountain Hill. The water cure was highly sought out, even attracting General Sherman from the Civil War. The mineral springs in Fountain Hill led to the creation of Lechauweki Springs, about a mile away from the former site of Appelt's Water Cure. People would ride the Lehigh Valley Railroad from New York and Allentown, and others would ride the Reading Railroad from Philadelphia and other places to spend time at these springs. A dance hall, entertainment facilities, accommodations, and more were set up here. People sought out the clear air, cool nights, parties, and the healing powers of the mineral springs offered at Lechauweki Springs. Today, a public park has been set up at the location, and a number of artifacts remain. A gazebo was rebuilt at the location where one once stood. The springs still flow through the area, though they are rather small. The resort had 3 buildings with 120 rooms. The success was short-lived, only lasting from 5 years or so. Business slowed down through the 1880s, and the resort shut down after a major fire in 1891. A number of private cottages built upon the road heading into the park remain as private residences to this day. Construction of the resort was begun in the early 1870s by John Smiley, owner of a nearby factory called Shive Governor Works. Smiley hired as hostess a Mrs. Hauser, described as the best housekeeper in the state. Beginning in 1876, the resort, which up to then had operated summers only, opened its doors year-round. In August of 1876, 140 people had checked in. A horse-drawn coach had shuttled patrons from Bethlehem to the resort. The buildings, of Victorian architecture, had a capacity of over 100. Each building had 3 floors and wraparound porches. The bedrooms were said to be large and airy. Private cottages were nearby. 3 observatories placed on the side of the mountain gave visitors views of the surrounding countryside. For all this, guests paid $2 a day to $15 a week. The water was a key to the resort's success. In 1880, the hotel was fitted with pipes to draw from the springs, and advertisements had made much of the water's supposedly medicinal properties.
The agreeable taste of this water is mainly due to the nitrates contained in it, and has been found remarkably beneficial in kidney and nervous affections. For dyspepsia and bowel complaints, it is unequal.
Sometime in the early 1890s, a fire destroyed the resort. Not much is known how the fire started. The archaeological evidence suggests it was a bad one. 10 years after the fire, the property was sold and subsequently used to bottle and sell the spring water. Little evidence remains of the Crystal Water Company, which operated on the site. The Lechauweki Springs area eventually was sold to Lehigh County. The county now leases the land to the borough. Today, this is all that's left of what had once been a stylish and popular resort.